Hello, Nomads, and happy holidays to you, and welcome to this Listen and React holiday version. This is one of my personal favorite Christmas songs. You will notice it. I will admit it's from my Napster days. I downloaded this, hence the cheesy picture here. But it is from one of my favorite bands. I've bought every single one of their albums. They're just amazing. It's the Barenaked Ladies with their song God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. From what I understand, this was done at a radio station, and you're going to hear a female vocalist in it, and that is none other than Sarah McLachlan. It's amazing to me that this was a team up. I think Sarah might be Canadian. Don't get too upset if I have that wrong, but Barenaked Ladies are Canadian, so it would kind of make sense. See, I'm connecting the dots perhaps. But also most excitedly, I finally remembered to wear my my Christmas shirt. I've done a few of these videos and forgot to change into my Christmas attire. Now, I won't mention that I'm recording this song in September, so it's a little weird to be wearing Christmas shirts, but hey, you know, whatever you gotta do. So, yeah, I'm going to get into rolling my Christmas version of my theme song, and then we'll dive into listening to what this guy sounds like. All right, here we go. If you got the holiday blues, well, don't you fret, bringing the holiday cheer. It's Nate's OneManDuet. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. That was my theme song. What a weirdo. All right, so here we go. Let's not waste any more time and start listening to this. So in typical Barenaked Ladies fashion, Jim Cregan is their bass player, and he plays an upright bass, and he is phenomenal. I had the pleasure, we saw them live a bunch of times in the 90s and early 2000s, but they played in Tucson, and they just kind of stood out in the audience in between, I think, when their opener went on and when they went on, or maybe it was before the opener. Which was incredible. What cool guys to go out and do that. So I had the chance to go up to Jim Cregan, and I talked to him about his bass line in Brian Wilson. Go listen to that. There's like this really distinctive, he's almost playing like what would typically be a lead guitar part, just because it's awesome. So I remembered sitting there kind of saying how much I loved that bass line, and it was a really cool moment. So Jim Cregan, if you happen to be watching this, thanks, man. I'm sure you remember that conversation you had with me, and I don't know, that was probably like the year 2001 or something. So I'm sure you remember it well. So yeah, anyway. So yeah, I really love, they're doing this really cool rhythmic thing with the bass, and Tyler is their drummer, and he's always, he's got such style. And their guitar players are actually very, very talented, but they're always understated. That always struck me about this band. At first, I thought that maybe they were just kind of like fairly rudimentary players, but then you hear stuff and you're like, no, those guys are like virtuosos. They just know when to hold back, and it is brilliant. So, all right, enough of me babbling. Here we go.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born upon this day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy.
So they had, at this point in their career, they had effectively two lead singers, Ed Robertson and Steve Page. They are both so great in their own right. And this was really the strength, kind of like the Beatles. You know, they had two powerhouse songwriters. Pardon me, I got a little tickle in my throat. And that allowed them to play off of each other. And so you'll hear that. So Ed was singing the lead part. Steve came in with the harmony, and you heard Sarah singing. She's way down in the mix. She'll feature more prominently as we get a little bit further on. So yeah, that's cool.
Tidings of comfort
Also, the most impressive thing is, keep this in mind as you listen to how phenomenal this performance is. I'm 90% sure this was live, which makes it even more incredible.
From God our Heavenly Father, this blessed angel came, and unto certain shepherds brought tidings of the same, how that in Bethlehem
with the same. So Steve kind of hit that little harmony, so you'll hear them kind of playing off of one another throughout this.
Was born the Son of God by name, with tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy, with tidings of comfort and joy. Oh, stop.
So I'm pretty sure I'm not an expert in Christmas songs. If you watch any of my blind karaoke holiday song editions, you'll quickly realize that I am not joking when I say I'm not an aficionado by any means of Christmas songs. But I think they're combining two Christmas songs, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, and then Oh, Star of Wonder, Star of Night. I could be wrong. Please let me know in the comments, actually. I'd be really interested to hear. Is that two separate? I know later on they do We Three Kings or whatever, that one. I know that they do that. So there's at least two songs, but I think that Star of Wonder might be its own. So yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments if that's the case or not.
Star of wonder, star of night, star with royal.
One thing I've always noticed in this version is that Sarah's harmony part, I assume this is an artistic choice because it is amazing. She comes in kind of a half beat, so they'll go like star and then star of wonder. And it's just like this, like, I don't know, she's like half a second later, a beat later. And I always love it. And sometimes you hear it really distinctly, and sometimes it's further down in the mix, but I love it.
Bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
That's Sarah McLachlan.
Gold I bring to crown him again, King forever, ceasing never, over us all to reign.
She is such a phenomenal artist. I love her vocals. She's one of those like distinctive voices that when I hear her sing, I'm like, I know who that is. You know, and I love this performance in this song in particular. She has that wonderful break into her falsetto, or what's called like head voice. It's like the difference, particularly when you're singing high notes. You know, you can sing loud from this voice, or you can go up in your head. That's falsetto. I'm sure vocal coaches and people who know what the heck they're talking about can explain that far better than I did. But she has this wonderful break, so you can kind of break in and out of falsetto, you know, like, yeah, that's not a good demonstration because I'm not as talented as she is, but she does it so beautifully and artistically, and I love it.
Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty.
So she did that little pause. I'm going to see if I can rewind this just a little bit. So listen to when star of wonder, star of night. She does that little like delay there too.
Oh, star of wonder, star of night,
You hear it?
star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
Glorious now, behold.
So I heard something there that I'd never heard before, and I would have to kind of listen back. I don't know if someone was humming or if they had a cello, or sometimes Jim Cregan will play the bow on the bass, but I think it was too quick. I'm gonna go back and listen, see if you can hear. It's kind of low in the mix, but there is this again, either a hum or a cello, or maybe the bass being played with a bow during that little break.
Glorious now, behold him arise.
I think Jim switched to the bow now that I listen, because it goes into this verse, and I think is still playing if you keep an ear out for it.
King and God and sacrifice.
Yeah, now I hear it.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, worship him, God most high.
And then you can hear when he switches back to then finger picking it. He's so great, Jim, their bass player. I mean, that's such a brilliant move to switch from the finger picking to the bow. Hats off to you, Jim. Or should I say my Santa elf, or my elf hat off to you, Jim. There's that delay again.
Westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
So the bass player Jim is also doing some interesting things, like during the break between the chorus and the verse. But then during so that's what we called like a 1-5, and typically you're doing that on like the 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, the 1 and the 3, doom doo ding ding doom ding doo, 1 and 2 and or 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. But then during the chorus, he might be playing the 1 and the 2, doom 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 doom. Is really an interesting and very subtle thing. You know, bass is kind of what I consider to be my first instrument. Technically, I started playing on a mandolin, but like bass is really kind of when I really fell in love with music. So, and plus, there's not mandolin in a lot of songs that I listen to. So, so I primarily listen to bass lines. Those always kind of stick out to me, and that one stuck out to me. Yeah, you can go back. You can go back and listen.
God rest ye merry gentlemen. God rest ye dismay. God rest ye merry gentlemen. God rest ye dismay. God rest ye merry gentlemen. God rest ye dismay. God rest ye merry.
So I might have to amend my previous statement. I have a version of that where they are playing live because it doesn't fade out. And they go into this round thing, right, where Ed is singing, God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. And then Steve starts going, we three kings of Orient are. And Sarah, I think, starts singing like in a round, God rest ye merry gentlemen, God rest ye merry gentlemen. And then they play out and the bass is kind of riffing and the drum is kind of going. And then they go, God rest ye merry gentlemen, doom doom. And so that's always one way to know if something is done in a studio, like this version here faded out. So that typically denotes either a live performance that faded out in post-production, or it's just a recorded version and they did that fade. So I still stand by, I'm pretty sure that was a live performance, but that version that I had downloaded from Napster faded out, because I'll have to dig through my library, see if I could find the version that is clearly live, because they end it in a fashion that would denote that they're playing it live. So that is my listen and react to this wonderful Christmas song, or 2 or maybe 3 Christmas songs. Again, hit me up in the comments, let me know what you think. But all that to be said, I hope that you guys are having an awesome holiday season. I hope you have some great plans lined up. to hang out with family and loved ones, and that you have a great time and that everybody is safe and happy. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you guys in the new year. Please do subscribe to my channel. Check out, I got lots of content coming your way. I've got at this point, a really long back catalog of stuff. So you could spend pretty much all of 2025 looking through the things that I've done over the past, I don't know, year and a half. I think my channel has been up and running. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays to all of you. So yeah, you guys take care. We'll see you. Woo! That's all, folks. Ho, ho, ho. You gotta reverb ho, 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 right? You can't let that be dry. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. That just felt right. I'm sorry. That just felt right. I don't stop being weird just because it's Christmas time, folks.